I'm asking Americans all across the country to make your voice heard. Tell members of Congress what a $2,000 tax hike would mean to you.
I grew up in a house with 8 people on the west side of Chicago.
In 2009, my mom got really sick and she went into the hospital. She never came out. And then I discovered that in the meantime, my son had autism.
I did just celebrate my 70th birthday. I was actually and literally homeless for the first several months of this year.
After my grandfather had a stroke that left my grandmother as the only breadwinner in the household. I remember sitting and watching her have to do the bills, figure out who gets paid and who can wait. There were some times where she went hungry so that we didn't.
I have a 22-year-old totally disabled grandson that had a stroke when he was 3 months old. $2,000 taken from our income would drastically affect our ability to provide services to my grandson.
This isn't just about my grandmother. There are millions of people living their own personal fiscal cliffs every single day. Just a flat tire or a traffic ticket away from being in economic ruin.
But this $2,000 a year for me, basically it means that maybe not be able to pay for the speech therapy or the occupational therapy or the physical therapy that my son needs.
This is ridiculous. I'm a good woman. I've worked all my life. I never dreamed that I would be in this position, and yet here I am.
A group of us who were former organizers with OFA were sitting in with the White House Office of Public Engagement talking about these fiscal cliff negotiations. And there was a call for those of us who've been given these organizing tools, who've been taught by the campaign over the last 2 cycles how to go into our communities and make change. And if we all stand up and we demand action, we demand support, we demand fairness, then we get it.
Let me just thank everyone for coming out today. I just can't tell you how important it is for your organizing, your passion, and the pressure that you need to bring to bear on our country. The president ran for re-election on fairness, on a balanced approach, but you cannot balance the budget on the backs of the middle class, on the backs of the working poor, and on the backs of the most vulnerable in our society.
$2,000 a year doesn't seem like a lot to some folks that can buy a $5,000 bottle of wine. But when you're trying to figure out where you can scrounge together 10 bucks so your kid can go to a field trip, or figure out the best way to make it so that 3 of your 5 grandkids could go to college, even though you only had a 6th grade education. That's why we have to solve these problems. That's what $2,000 means to me.